A palace with over 400 rooms, a car made entirely of gold, a private jet that turns itself toward Mecca during prayer. This is not a movie, this is not fiction, this is real power. Welcome to the world's richest dynasty you've never seen. The richest man in the world is not Elon Musk, not Jeff Bezos, not any billionaire you know. There is a family with a secret fortune of $1.5 trillion, and they don't appear on Forbes. How did they become so powerful? You're about to find out. The answer lies in black gold. Ever since oil was discovered in Saudi Arabia in the 1930s, the Al Saud family has controlled the largest reserves on the planet. With the creation of Saudi Aramco, the world's most profitable oil company, the monarchy secured an endless cash flow. Just in 2019, Aramco's market cap hit $1 trillion, surpassing giants like Apple and Amazon. But the secret to Saudi wealth goes beyond oil. The royal family diversified its investments into sectors like technology, tourism, real estate, and sports. Through the Public Investment Fund, PEF, a $500 billion sovereign wealth fund, they acquired stakes in companies like Uber, Microsoft, and Lucid Motors, as well as elite football clubs. However, the family's biggest asset is the absolute secrecy surrounding their finances. Unlike other dynasties with declared wealth, the Al Saud keep most of their fortune hidden in private properties, secret investments, and billion-dollar deals that never reach the public eye. But how did it all start? Let's go back in time to uncover the origins of this empire. The story of the Al Saud began in the 18th century, when the Arabian Peninsula was divided by tribal conflicts. The family's destiny changed when Mohammed bin Salman, a young visionary leader, allied with Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, the founder of Wahhabism, a strict Islamic movement. This partnership helped the Al Saud expand their influence and establish the first Saudi state. But their rise to power wasn't smooth. The Ottomans crushed their first reign in the early 19th century, and the family lost control. It wasn't until the 20th century, under the leadership of Ibn Saud, that they reclaimed their territory and officially founded the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in 1932. The real turning point came shortly after, with the discovery of massive oil reserves. Ibn Saud quickly made strategic deals with the United States and other world powers, securing foreign investments and turning Saudi Arabia into one of the richest countries on earth. From that moment on, the royal family didn't just control the country's natural wealth, they controlled the country itself. Today, with over 25,000 family members and 200 princes, the Saudi monarchy remains the most powerful in the Arab world. But their true economic breakthrough came with the massive-scale exploitation of oil. Before oil, Saudi Arabia's economy relied on livestock, spice trade, and religious pilgrimages to Mecca. But in 1938, everything changed when American geologists discovered enormous oil reserves beneath the Arabian desert. This marked the beginning of a new era for the country, and especially for the royal family. The foundation of Saudi Aramco, the state-owned oil giant, gave the monarchy a never-ending source of wealth. With global demand for oil skyrocketing, Saudi Arabia became an economic superpower, exporting over 10 million barrels per day and generating billions in revenue. This immense wealth transformed the country into a kingdom of luxury and innovation, funding futuristic cities, high-end infrastructure, and huge investments in technology. However, relying too much on oil came with risks. Market fluctuations and energy crises forced the monarchy to diversify its economy. And the man leading this transformation? A highly ambitious prince, Mohammed bin Salman, MBS. With a $1 trillion fortune, the Saudi royal family lives a life of unimaginable luxury. Princes and sheikhs reside in fairy tale palaces, drive gold-plated cars, and own private islands across the globe. For them, money isn't a problem, it's infinite. The Al Yamama Palace, for instance, has over 400 rooms decorated with gold, Italian marble, and crystal chandeliers. Outside Saudi Arabia, they own properties like the Chateau Louis XIV in France, worth $300 million, and a mansion in the US with over 8 luxury suites. Their car collections are equally extravagant. Some princes own fleets of gold-plated Lamborghinis, Bentleys, and Rolls-Royces, while others drive rare supercars like the Bugatti Chiron and the Koenigsegg Regera. But the real status symbols? Private jets and super yachts. Mohammed bin Salman owns the Serene, a $500 million super yacht, along with a customized Boeing 747. Despite this extravagant lifestyle, MBS has a much bigger vision for Saudi Arabia's future. Mohammed bin Salman isn't just a crown prince, he's leading a monarchy revolution. Appointed crown prince in 2017, he launched a series of bold reforms to transform the country and strengthen his power. One of his first moves was Vision 2030, a strategic plan to reduce Saudi Arabia's reliance on oil and boost technology, tourism, and entertainment. Under his rule, the country allowed women to drive for the first time in history and opened up to international tourism. However, MBS also made headlines for his strict anti-corruption crackdown. In 2017, he ordered the arrest of dozens of princes and businessmen, seizing over $100 billion for the government. His grand vision includes projects like NEOM, a $500 billion futuristic city that could redefine humanity's future. For decades, Saudi Arabia was synonymous with oil, but MBS wants to change that. His Vision 2030 aims to turn the country into a global tech, tourism, and entertainment hub. The plan includes massive investments in renewable energy, such as solar and wind power, to reduce oil dependence. Saudi Arabia also wants to become a global AI hub, attracting tech companies and startups. Tourism is another priority. After years of being closed to foreigners, the country is now investing billions in luxury resorts, islands, and cultural events. But one of the most mind-blowing projects of Vision 2030? NEOM, a city that feels straight out of a sci-fi movie. Imagine a fully sustainable city with no cars, AI control systems, and flying taxis. That's the promise of NEOM, a $500 billion project funded by Saudi Arabia. The city will feature futuristic districts, including The Line, a 170-kilometer-long linear city with skyscrapers taller than anything we've seen. It also plans to host the world's largest green hydrogen plant, floating industrial hubs, and a luxury ski resort in the desert. While some doubt NEOM will ever be completed, it's one of the most ambitious bets in Saudi history. The Saudi royal family doesn't settle for ordinary cars. Their vehicles are works of art on wheels. Some princes are known for showing off gold-plated supercars, turning heads wherever they go. One of the most famous examples is Prince Turki bin Abdullah, who once paraded a fleet of golden cars through the streets of London. His collection includes a Lamborghini Aventador, Bentley Flying Spur, Mercedes-Benz G63 AMG 6x6, and a Rolls-Royce Phantom Coupe, all covered in pure gold. But Saudis don't just care about looks. They're also obsessed with rare and exclusive models. Mohammed bin Salman, MBS, owns a Pagani Zonda Riviera, one of the world's most exclusive hypercars, valued at $5.5 million. He also has a Bugatti Chiron, the first unit ever produced, and a Koenigsegg Regera, which costs nearly $2 million. Saudi princes often order custom-built hypercars, creating one-of-a-kind vehicles that never hit the regular market. And when they're not driving these insane machines, they're relaxing in their palaces fit for royalty. If the gold-plated cars are impressive, the Saudi royal palaces are on an entirely different level. These residences are fortresses of luxury, filled with Italian marble, solid gold furniture, and million-dollar crystal chandeliers. One of the most famous is the Al Yamama Palace, located in Riyadh. With over 400 rooms, it serves as the monarchy's power center, hosting diplomatic meetings and high-profile events. Every detail of the palace reflects the family's unimaginable wealth, from gold-plated doors to marble-heated indoor pools. Another jaw-dropping property is Erga Palace, where King Salman welcomes world leaders. Rumors say that even the tissue boxes inside the palace are made of gold, a level of extravagance that defies logic. Outside Saudi Arabia, the Al Saud family owns some of the most expensive real estate in the world. A prime example is Chateau Louis XIV in France, purchased by Mohammed bin Salman for $300 million. Inspired by the Palace of Versailles, this estate features marble halls, gold-plated fountains, and an underground high-tech cinema. But their wealth isn't just about properties. It also comes from controlling global markets and strategic investments. If there's one thing the Saudi monarchy knows how to do, besides living lavishly, it's investing. The Public Investment Fund, PIF, is their main weapon for expanding economic influence across the globe. This $500 billion sovereign wealth fund has massive investments in sectors like technology, sports, entertainment, and renewable energy. Some of the world's biggest companies, including Uber, Microsoft, and Lucid Motors, have received billions of dollars in Saudi funding. One of their biggest sports investments was in football, soccer. In 2021, the PIF bought Newcastle United, one of England's most traditional clubs, for $415 million. The Saudis also created LIV Golf, a league that rivaled the PGA Tour, attracting top players with record-breaking contracts. But the monarchy's goal isn't just profit, it's global control, ensuring Saudi Arabia's influence extends far beyond oil. And they're using sports and entertainment to strengthen their grip on the world. Saudi Arabia doesn't just want to watch sports, it wants to own them. In recent years, the monarchy has poured billions of dollars into sports leagues, buying teams, creating new competitions, and turning Saudi Arabia into a global sports powerhouse. Their biggest move? Buying Newcastle United, a Premier League club, for $415 million, a deal orchestrated by the Public Investment Fund, PIF. This marked the beginning of an aggressive expansion into football, but they didn't stop there. The Saudis launched LIV Golf, a $2 billion golf league that shook up the sport, challenging the PGA Tour and signing top players with multi-million-dollar contracts. Beyond football and golf, Saudi Arabia is hosting major events like Formula One races, WWE matches, and boxing championships. They're also working on bringing the FIFA World Cup back to the Middle East. The Saudis know that sports are more than just entertainment. They're a tool for expanding influence and controlling narratives. But behind all this power, there are mysteries and conspiracies surrounding the royal family. With trillions of dollars in global influence, it's no surprise that the Saudi royal family is surrounded by mysteries and conspiracy theories. But what are their darkest secrets? One of the biggest mysteries is where their true fortune is hidden. Estimates suggest the Al Saud family controls $1.4 trillion, yet there are no official records confirming this. Many believe much of their wealth is spread across secret funds, offshore accounts, and undisclosed investments. Another shadowy aspect involves exiled and missing princes. Over the years, several royal family members who criticized the government mysteriously disappeared. Some were allegedly detained and silenced to prevent any threats to Mohammed bin Salman's rule. There are also rumors that the Saudis are investing in ultra-secret projects, such as underground bunkers, advanced military bases, and even space technology, suggesting that the monarchy might be preparing for something much bigger. While these secrets remain hidden, the monarchy's extravagance is on full display, and nothing symbolizes their status and power more than their private jets and super yachts. Flying first class? That's too basic for the Saudi royal family. They travel the world in private jets worth hundreds of millions, customized with gold, marble, and the latest technology. King Salman, for example, owns a Boeing 747 transformed into a floating palace, worth $500 million. The plane includes conference rooms, royal suites, a private cinema, and even a prayer room with automatic positioning towards Mecca. But Mohammed bin Salman prefers something even more impressive, a super yacht. He owns the Serene, one of the most expensive yachts in the world, purchased for $500 million. This 439-foot vessel includes 2 helipads, a saltwater pool, a luxury spa, and an outdoor movie theater. Another legendary yacht is the Al Salama, owned by King Salman. Nicknamed the Floating Palace, it features gold-decorated interiors, presidential suites, and an elite onboard crew. However, behind all this luxury, the Saudi monarchy is plagued by internal power struggles, betrayals, and scandals that could shake its foundation. This trillion-dollar dynasty doesn't just have power, it has secrets. Their wealth buys governments, influence, and even silence. But one question remains. How long can this empire last? Will we ever witness the downfall of the Saudi royal family? Let me know in the comments. Do you think their true fortune is even bigger than we imagine?